All right. I am a little bit early, but it shouldn't be too crazy. Um, Also have to get used to the fact that my computer is off from when I have the camera running, and I guess I have. It doesn't look like it's too crazy. So, um, this is going to be a video for the Great Stash Photo of 2019, and hopefully it won't be too crazy. I'm probably gonna go to bed after this. um, so the Dear Sweet Lovable one had a flight this morning that left at 7:20, and he brought many unreasonable things through carry-on, including a giant box of coral and a box that he constructed that was the correct dimensions for a rollerboard suitcase that was just filled with aquarium equipment. I don't know what's going on. But as a result, I decided to clean up the space, and sort of, so it'd be the case where we're in the process of packing up our house to move, and so there's just crap everywhere. But I managed to get at least a slice that wasn't too crazy. So, let's see how things are looking. Not too bad. Okay. So, hopefully the sound is on. It seems to think that the sound's on, so it's probably okay. So, my name is Molly. Welcome. I am the host of the Deeply Renegade podcast. This is a bonus episode. I decided to tape my great stash photo instead of just going off the Instagram pictures. Who knows? A few people had mentioned that it would be just to watch, so I figured it was worth doing. I do this every year for a few reasons. One, it's a lot of fun to arrange things in a rainbow. Number two is that it is important to go through your stash every year. So by having this New Year's Day hullabaloo, oh my God, it's 2019. This gives me a chance to go through all of my yarn, make sure it's okay. And what I have sitting actually on the couch over there is fresh Ziploc bags. So I am very for serious about the things that can get into your stash. And I trust everything to my Ziploc bags. But your Ziploc bags will become damaged over time. You like shove that skein of yarn in there really good and then have the square tag and then it slices the bag. No bueno. So this gives me a chance to take everything out, leaf check all the bags, look at all the yarn, make sure it's good. And before I get started, I do like a really thorough vacuuming of the area, multiple directions. Would it be? It needed a vacuuming anyways. So, and I'm trying to stay hydrated, hopefully. I know. If not, I could just probably add some more water. So, let's see. Aha! We have a viewer. Hello. Feel free to write in the chat. I may or may not be able to answer. I've been trying to keep an eye. and what's going on. So let's begin with a quick tour of my stash. So it is all behind me here. And what we have going on here is various piles. I just sort of did like a quick sort, but maybe not a perfect sort. But that's what doesn't belong there. So I have this crazy tottering pile right here is actually on my handspun, and that's probably where I'm going to be starting to arrange on the floor in front of me. The other two piles over here are my Lolisa. So I have all of my fingering next to the handspun pile, and then I have my lace and DK to the far side closest to the couch. I have my little yarn scale out right now in case I need to weigh scraps or that sort of thing. So not too crazy there. What I have next to my handspun are my shawl kits. So it looks like I have 3 right now where I've bought the yarn for a purpose, and the goal is to knit it into something. What I have here are my sweater quantities. They're mostly blue, particularly a sort of dark blue color. I don't know. I know what I like. Blue is my favorite color. When I start to arrange for the rainbow, I will just make it so that half is blue. What I have next to my sweater quantities are my lace. I don't have a ton of lace commercial yarn. I have a decent amount of actually lace sort of in my handspun pile that I haven't quite decided what to do with yet. Next to the lace are my scraps. So this has some of my worsted weight yarn. This has all of my sock scraps, and sort of a lot of the partial weird balls, things that weren't meant for sweaters. And then the little the white plastic bag on top is my Christmas yarn. So, yay! And then the last tower of yarn is my fingering weight yarn. So the stuff that wasn't necessarily intended, or stuff that was intended for socks, basically. I haven't made a lot of progress, but oh well, such is life. Yay, more viewers, welcome. I'm just giving an overview of my stash before I start taking it out of Ziploc bags. And then the bag at the very end has what remains of my acrylic, and then also some like cotton yarn. So we'll go look briefly. Aha! Happy New Year to you guys too. Yay! So we'll start with the handspun. And maybe there'll be a little bit, I don't know, at some point I'll have to figure out the appropriate, have to figure out where my center is on the screen. Interesting challenges. So, I'm starting with the handspun, and then I'll sort of radiate out from there. It may be where my handspun doesn't necessarily perfectly line up with a rainbow all by itself, but yeah, whatever. And then I will put the bags to the side, because I'll end up probably just switching it all out. This bag is sort of interesting because it's actually all of my scrap yarn. So, something to think about. So there are like partial balls and samples and things from classes. And there's just all sorts of stuff in there. And I'm trying to think about if I need to I guess that I'm just making sure I'm lined up correctly. Whatever. So how I need to be realistic about how much glue I have. Versus neutrals and that sort of thing. Some of these I don't even really remember. Where it came from or why it was I did it originally. And I bet that the neutrals probably won't take up that much total space on this guy. There's all sorts of interesting samples in here though, as you do. Like, oh my gosh, it's so blue. There. Oh, I think I have like samples from my like grist class. All right. There's a distinct danger that I'm not quite centered up, but whatever. So now that I have that, I can start filling in more. I have some purples and reds, and this is, I probably need to package this up a little bit better. This is from my handspun Delancey sweater. Leftovers from, yeah, no, this is the bag of leftovers. This is like leftovers from a shawl for a friend. Trip down memory lane. This is what I get for not labeling my samples. Oh, these are leftovers from socks. Leftovers from a sweater. Chain ply. And these are, I think these are leftovers from my the Biramal shawl. Oh, I lost it. Whatever, such is life. All right. Cool. So we'll put the scale over here. Dump those yarns. And we got that one done. Okie doke. These are my big samples. Looks like I'm gonna break this guy up because it's really too. I probably do need to get used together when the time comes. Let's see. They are from bats I made at SSK. Loose skein's better than no skein. I think these were from samples from my spinning class. These are actually mini skeins. Okay. Another bag bites the dust. Okay, so now we are into some whole skeins. Of fibers from the past that maybe got put together at about the same time. We'll throw that one over there. Okay. These are sock yarn experiments. There are many that still have to be knit into socks. Ooh, slinky silk. Some of them turned out better than others. Green. These are some of my lace weight. Let's take this guy out. This one's just super duper luxurious. So I ended up doing two EFL silk ones from Julie Spence, and she just has really, really great fiber. Okay. Squeezed it out. So, lots of lightweight yarn on the handspun section. Okay. These are all variations on chain fly. For the most part. Throw those in together. All right. And I think it's time for my heavier weight skeins. I already did the pretty bulky one, but these guys are also ones that are big enough for a project. And just stick all of the red ones in the bag together. Okay. Some method to the madness. Oops. All right. Now we're sort of getting to the point where we are mostly talking about more leftovers and samples, which are a little bit harder to categorize, at least for me. So a lot of these are small enough that they're not quite a project, and some of them are more for the knowledge gained, but we will keep digging. Let's get in, or would it be? We definitely hollowed out the center of this quite a bit now. So I still have some pretty sizable skeins left. So we'll throw these in together. I don't know if I'll just throw caution to the wind and knit something stripy with that one anyways. But I've dyed these skeins just with the excess dye coming off of this one. So it's a little bit bonkers. But whatever, so to say. Honestly, just leftovers. So the other thing is my big push for 2019 is to finish processing a fleece I bought in 2014. So I talk about this a bit on the podcast as well. So I only have one skein done so far, which is this guy here. And it is actually really nice. It's the second combing of the waist. So I took on that combing waist, combed it again. And this was the result. So I will, I'm just sort of setting aside the bigger samples. This is really, really nice. This is something from Judith Mackenzie's class. So, oh well, whatever, we'll make it work. I might throw some leftovers into that bag as well, but I really want to finish this project because it's been going on for quite some time. As you do. Oh, that's nice. Trying to think about what else I want to throw in. So. What I'm doing right now is separating out my leftovers from my samples. And I have quite a few different samples from various classes. Leftovers. And the samples really did basically fill a bag. That's leftover. These are leftovers. Okay. I think I'm gonna take this bigger sample and just toss that in there. I think that was from the flying plastic that's a while ago. And if the leftovers aren't too huge, I guess that'll be fine. All right. So it's just nice to have the leftovers separate from the samples, because then they're easy to find for repairs or changes or that sort of thing. Some of these I think are would be fairly safe at this point, but I'm not going to be doing too much more. But just interesting to look at all the different samples. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge to figure out which class I did what in. A little bit. Okey-doke. Okay, let's see how many samples I can cram in here. I'm just going to start shoving them in. This is a bag that never seems to want to close very well. Oh, Toyota. Got a decent number. can go from there. No worries. Ah. Who's on the skeins? Oh, that's linen. Interesting. All right. Leave that tight. Close it up. It did all fit. Make the bag sort of squarish again. All right. Let's try this again. I'll do that. Okay. Hands phone sorted. All right. I'm not going to do a Woolmesa picture this year. I do want to get one of these back. I'll figure out if I can find that bag. There we go. So I like this bag for my cone of zephyr. I primarily use this for spinning projects. I could also do knitting with it as well. It's super duper nice. Really like it. But mostly concerned for that. All right. So I think I'm gonna pull out the Woolmesa. And go from there. Sit back in the center again. Okie doke. With my pile of plastic bags and a lot of wool. So let's hop to it. Ooh, I got one. It has some pretty impressive hairs in it. So that means it's no good. That one gets tossed. What would it be? There's probably a certain amount of accountability with having it fit in the same number of Ziploc bags as before, but I'll have to see what that delta turns out to be. And I can get 2 lace skeins into a bag and not much more than that. So shouldn't be too crazy. And I'll just be stuffing those in. Okay. Hopefully in the next year I'll be knitting more with Woolmesa. I've been having FO problems with it living in Texas. And I'm not willing to store my hand knits all the time in plastic, so that's why the mojo has been low. Those don't really stop nicely. But it is a side benefit of no longer being in Texas. Because I'm not needing to worry about that anymore. Oh, nope, this guy's got a hole somewhere. I don't know where, but I see it. There's a puncture. And that's dead. So, this is why you want to check your stash kits. So you're probably not going to notice otherwise. Okay. Some of you are out of that. Plus, how many more of these things do I have? These two. So, I think the other thing is that if you ever want to have ridiculous mileage of yarn in your stash, each one of these is a mile. So I have just bagged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles of yarn right there. Which is pretty bonkers if you ask me. I don't know whether or not, for a while I was knitting probably about 7 miles of yarn a year. So there is that. All right. I think that is all of the links. Oh, and move on to the DK. I did have it a little bit separated. We'll see if I can get it all in the same bag this year. So I have one leftover skein from a sweater knit, and then I have these guys here that could also be a sweater quantity as well. We'll see if it fits. I'm not just in this bag. Let's just check it. This is fine. No. Not fitting it in here. So, it will not go. I will actually have to use some of this in order for it to be converted. Okey-doke. We'll just leave that there for now. It's a pity that it would fit, but whatever. Okay. Maybe I can fit it a little bit differently with the DK or the sport boat. Such lovely stuff. Okey-doke. I'll just leave that for a moment. Ooh, big hole. Rejected. All right. Good bag. So I'm gonna take my semi-solids and put them together in a bag. Actually fit. No. Not so much. I was hoping that I could fit 5 in there, but not so much. Try to sort it at least a little bit by color. These are such dense stains. I guess that is, what would it be? 600 grams of yarn, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Yeah. Moving along. Have all these screaming great stains here. I'm pretty sure this one is the odd man out. No, there are 2. So I'm going to take the DK out again. These guys in. Yeah. We'll figure something out. So another one goes. Okay, let's go. All right. All sorts of random small balls. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is separating the 100% from the twin. But if it's a really small ball, can't be too picky. Ew. I mean, they're just super awkwardly small. All right. That's not what I said. Okay. Okay. So. And all of these small bits of color are really helpful when doing color work. Which is what I like them. If I find any more, I can edit. All right. see if I can't fit that guy in finally. Okay. Shoot. All right. That contained. And I will have to figure out what to do with the rest. Okay. So let's see what I want to do now. Let's do holy sweet. Just to get it out of here. Then I think I might do clearing scraps after that. Oops. Blue with glows. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Some very nice stuff. Okay. I have more of this, right? I think that covers it. I figured out where my other laser was. This stuff. Okay. All right. I'm going to guess that the next order of business is going to be fingering waste scraps. There are needles. of them all over the place. I may not be able to close this bag for a bit. I know if it's stuff like this that drives people to do the scrappy blankets. Okay. So what I'm trying to focus on are the smaller balls. The ones where I can't really make too much of a project with it. And then I'll have a separate one that will be bigger balls. Ah, found some lace. But I have one to probably. And now for the big scraps. So these are ones where just leave that for there. These could make something more substantial. Give them the option. I need to do a little bit of a transfer actually. Oh, it's not all gonna fit. My bag overfloweth. Okay. Sometimes it's just easier to split it up. It was definitely a bit of a packing game. making all of my scraps fit, which I think was inspiring me to do something about my scraps. But we can procrastinate. I'm just putting it in more bags. Okay. All right. These scraps make a bad days later. All right. So mostly figuring out stuff. Oh, all right. That's probably actually what this is. Go with the odd amounts of worsted weight yarn. I don't tend to keep a lot of worsted in my stash, so there is that. And there is still a decent amount left to go. Worsted. There we go. pass that on. Hold on. All right. So, have all of my commercial software. That normally all fits in the same bag. Not all of it. All right. That. Started putting together all of my kits. I just have like a whole bag of mustache. So striping. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I can't tell if this one is self-struggling. Silliness. All right. I put it in that bag. Okie doke. Well, I will be right back. So like, whatever. We'll make it work. Okie dokie. So, of course, it's now. Okay. Got that sorted. So, I've got all of my shawl kits here. I can finish up some of the sock yarn. I will probably need to verify some of the sock yarn. What would it be? And what I found to be interesting, this here is actually the last acrylic in my stash. I've actually busted the rest of it this whatever in 2018. So not too shabby. So I'm probably See, what I'm not sure about is whether or not I've documented all of the yarn that I have remaining. I'm getting close to the point where I need to figure out if I'm missing entries. 'Cause I know there are a few. Sort of at this stage in the game. Couple of different holes where I was surprised that would be sweater quantities weren't in there and that sort of thing. Okay, I can't close this guy. Okay. Like, I know that these guys are documented. Don't know what else. My nail yarn is undocumented. Let's see, I think I documented the hedgehog though. Let's see. Where I am at. So what I really want to be in stash at this point. So okay. I sort of documented the hedgehog, not really. So I have a picture of a bag and me holding all of the things at once. So that means I do need to. So it's in the stash, but there are photos. So that'll be easy to fix. Go from there. All right. That's why I sort of like having Ravelry up as I'm doing this so that I know. That neon just glows. Okay. So I have copied my captions so that hopefully it will be faster to post.
I should get individual pictures of these things. And now, just gonna get one of all of these shell kits. With the discarded bags excluded. That was nice. Because this is something that I would like to work on this year. It seemed like I kept buying shell kits or putting yarn together for 3-color things. It was silly. So, get a picture of it, document it, call it good. And I will store these as shell kits together. And maybe put them on their own little shelf in the stash. So the Panara wrap. This one is the crosswind shawl.
These ones don't really fill up a bag all the way, but that's fine. Whatever I decide to do with the hedgehog, but I bought it so that all three could go together into a single project. As you do. Maybe I can. There's a new too. This is for the only project my husband asked for, which is a pair of lizard mitts. And using the Escher pattern from Off Art Socks. I don't know, whatever. All right. Cool. So, shell kits sorted. Okay. So I suppose another kit that I have put together is my Woolfolk yarn that I recently got. This is so ridiculously nice. It isn't. It's not even funny. It's so wonderful. So this is going to become something lovely. And I should probably store it together. Just want this all over my neck. So this is going to be something. But I've also not entered it into my stash, so I should fix that. No, just let's see them. You don't have cool color names. But, super lovely. Super lovely. Okay. This one. The creamy one is one. And then I can put it back in. I'll still need to add the stash, but I can do that a little bit later. The crucial thing is like getting enough information for the entry itself. And then I can do that tandem between my phone and my computer.
So sometimes looking it up, what's going to be painful is that I have a lot of missing fiber entries. So that's not going to be as much fun. That just squishes down so far. I probably should put something more in here. Because, yeah, there's not a lot of weight in that. Why this? Okay. So that is sort of now. Let's go together. That works. Okay. So that is a random worsted scrap. I think I've just been randomly throwing in things. I'll throw it in there. I probably can. Oh dear. That backfired. Here we go. Cool. I'm on ready tight. That is solid. So let's see. So this is a sweater quantity. This is sweater quantity. This is more than sweater quantity. That was a free shipping problem. And then I have these skeins. Oh, it's nothing here. Oh, that's just like the one tag. These ones which aren't in the stash. This one isn't in the stash. And then what I have sort of out of frame is stuff that doesn't merit special protection. So I can
I think what I'm gonna do is finish the fingering. Um, and then I will take a picture of my sweater quantities. I may also throw in my work in progress sweater since that's not super duper far either. Um, and see where that leads me. How far that gets me. Bag of small scraps again. Okay. That was much more size than it's lovely. We'll see how many more small scraps I find. All right. What? Okay. So, it's all of my self-striping cataloged. Back to the stash. Stash, for real. Yep, it looks like all of my self-striping is taken care of. And what Stella is. And missing a photo. See my worst of them. I have not properly quantified my. I haven't actually measured or ran down the amounts for the for my on the Spice Market shelf. So there's the tan. It's not documented, right? Okay. And I am missing these two guys, which I do have photos for. They're just going to be a little bit of searching because I did document everything after yarn school, but I did not make stash entries for anything in yarn school, which is annoying. So, and then I totally missed these four here. Okay. So, we're getting pretty almost there. Ooh, yeah, they're dead. I don't even know where to eat them. Lots of good. Try a new bag. I'm surprised that these guys were dying. They're brand new bags. Whatever. And get all of my mustache. And also the Desert Vista Dye Works.
And they're self-stroking. That might be self-stroking. Okay. My school skins. Oh, that was so curious. It's ridiculous. Okay. So. Let's get some photos of these so I could not enter them into this. Okay. I'm very excited about the Transit Dyeworks. I picked some up when she did her big update for the Kids App Collective run. And I also got some Blue Rinse and Ocean Rainbow. So. And all of them in her 80/20 EFL nylon base. So I'm really looking forward to knitting with this when the time comes. Okay. I was off the clock. Ocean Info.
All right. Cool. So
I have documented there should be
really any skein of wool nice that could be a sweater quantity, but
we'll just ignore that this time. I think this is going to be a really, really amazing sweater. And it is this time. Yeah, all the tags pointing the same way. And
and my denial yarn.
like a proper tower of Harrisville Designs yarn. It's gonna be so gorgeous. All right.
I'll leave that downstairs. Oh, and that would be my current work in progress. Breathing space. Get the dead bag out of the frame. Let's do that instead. So. This will be one of those sorts of moments. But it works. No wool mice this time, but that will probably be fine. So I have owned up to most of this except for the flagbill. But that is seriously gorgeous stuff. And I will need some new Ziploc bags. So seemed like there was I don't trust these guys for long-term stash storage. No, I might use this guy here for the linen. Which okay. That's because the linen is not a lot. So on there. Let's see if I can actually fit all of this shibui into the same bag. Because I'm curious. Because I had it in many bags last year, and whatever, we'll make it work. I ever spent on yarn for a sweater. Because I was sad that I couldn't buy a sweater. And I know for a fact all of this is going to fit in the bag at the same time. I was still in denial about living in Texas. We'll see how many end up with. So, in the new bags because I've read quite a few away. I don't care about this. Oh boy, the Millentosh reeks of vinegar. Just getting you're already like, whoo, whoo. I know for a fact that our just is pure virgin wool, 50 grams skeins, and that is, I guess I could take this in an orientation that's readable. I'll share it on Facebook. Okay. And the main event, I'm planning on knitting paper and 12 skeins of this. Which is sort of bothering me. And I might make a very big hat with the rest. I have a hat in mind, but I first. As you do. So, is here. It's so lucky.
Even though those weren't really intended for that. Part of it was that it rounded out the sweater quantity after I decided what I was going to make. So, I don't know. Don't know what I was thinking. What the stack was less concerning yarn in it. For flying and chain flying sort of thing. I do some of it to seam the top of my car back on. It's like a lace weight. Okay. Last 2 balls of acrylic, which will be all gone, which is amazing. Good. Needed 5 new bags. 1, 2, 3, 5. And I have 5 old bags. You don't want holes in your protection. So, yeah. And